today's session, because I said I was going to do this last week, is three non-boring ways to plan your 2020 so that you can actually take action on them. And I was thinking about what I would admit is that I don't particularly like setting goals. That's the thing about me. I've never really liked it because I've always found them stressful and disappointing, and I feel disappointed when I don't achieve them. So I tended to not really make grand statement or big plans or big goals or any of that stuff. I just kind of did that whole I'll talk about it a little bit and then go and do it. But what I found just before I started my business and everything, that actually the time when I didn't set them or proclaim them, um, meant that I played small that time. I didn't, because I was basically setting what I felt like something that I could achieve. Almost like I wouldn't set them unless I was sure and guaranteed that I could actually do them. And so that meant I just always just slightly above my abilities. I didn't ever really push through. So of course you learn, especially when you start a business, that you're going to have to push for stuff. Otherwise, you end up playing to a smaller level. And I'm not saying to get into one with small levels, but it doesn't really serve us at all when we play small like that. So for me, one of the first things I had to overcome was setting big goals that I knew were bigger than me. The idea was just that I knew not to set them so big that they freaked me out completely, but enough for me to feel like, okay, that looks like a good margin. I can do that. Um, I have it within my ability to do that. It's just whether or not I put in the time and the effort and the commitment to be able to achieve that. So once I had that in my head, I thought, right, I can go for stuff. So running a business, trying to obviously going into corporate market at the moment, which we are, I forgot that we could do that. We're actually pretty good at what we do. And I just thought the corporate was something that I would do much later when I got the hang of sort of commercial and working with people on the individual basis. And then, I had a few live events and talks where we were going to, talk about what we do, mental well-being and productivity and all the stuff that I really love sharing and doing. And to be asked back to present more stuff meant that why can't I keep saying I'm not really good at corporate stuff? I'm pretty shit hot at it. I could need to just lean into it more. So this year, my one of my big goals is to definitely go for the corporate market for sure. Work some contacts and stuff, and do more of what I do here for you guys, but on a much bigger scale. So that's my goal. My big goal for 2020 is to do more corporate events and corporate coaching and stuff like that. So what I also wanted to share was almost like one of the ways that I decided that if I'm going to keep stop playing small, then I'm going to have to find ways that I can set big goals and not and still feel like I have the capacity and positive setting that allow me to achieve them and it will allow me to make it work for me. It will allow me to learn from the steps and reward myself. One of the real reasons for this is that I am personality driven by reward. And that's why personality test and your profile was really important that you do. It's one of the things that I do with every client when I work with clients on a full coaching program. The first few weeks about identifying what the productivity profiling is and personality profiling. So that way, when you match what kind of thing that you do and why you do certain things, it's easier to maybe to work to your strengths. So it becomes a strength-based exercise as opposed to working on deficit of what you can't do or you don't do very well. So for me, I am driven by reward. I'm not very competitive. So in terms of I want to win, that's not me. I've never been that kind of personality. What I am though is being able to reward myself or reward people who are not around me and have a great time and travel and all that kind of stuff works better for me. So on that note, these were my three non-boring ways in which you can plan your 2020 so that you actually take action, that you feel comfortable setting that big goal, knowing you've got this positive setting in which you will be able to achieve them. So I hope that's making sense to you and you're excited to hear my three. I just see who else is joining just in case. If you've got any questions, just drop them in a comment. I'll keep going in back and forward to check that if you have any questions I have to answer. So far I haven't got anything, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll carry on and then share what they are. Now, number one of my non-boring way to do this is setting CEO dates, where I've mentioned it in a group several times before. And what this is time allocated to do CEO strategy. Is where I get together with my business partner, Ngozi, and we go away. Now, CEO dates could be quarterly. We have quarterly ones, we have monthly ones, or rather fortnightly ones instead. But I'm going to say earmark a quarterly one you can do, or weekly, it's up to you, where you spend half a day. And you might say that's a long time to plan. It's up to you. Half a day, 2 hours. It's okay, just based on what you can do. And the idea of the CEO date is to brainstorm ideas where you go big with thoughts, okay? Is to put them on paper. It's to put them on a whiteboard. It's to put them on flip charts and just stick them on. It's allowed you to plan the priority. What is it that you want to earn in 2020? Personally, what does the business then need to earn? What kind of market are you going to go for? You know, for us, the corporate market, the commercial, we're running both, but we're going to do more heavily on the corporate market, for example. So just brainstorming them, and this you can see them in cold light of day, and then going for just one of them. And that allows you to go, right, I now know what I'm working toward for the next quarter. And that just becomes the thing. So that's why I like CEO date, and that's how I'm going to recommend it. Now, CEO date means where you do have this CEO date, it means that you can be anywhere you like. But I would recommend somewhere really nice. So if you're not going away, where you're having a spa day away or spa night retreat somewhere, then I would say go to a nice hotel lobby somewhere that you enjoy, a nice space, your favorite place that you feel like when you're there, you settle in to do work. You're not faffing or messing about, that you actually sit down and do the work. Find an area, clear the space, all your post-it notes, your colored pen, everything that allows you to feel effective and productive. This just allows you to just start to get all those ideas generating. And so you can now look at them and go, right, which one do I feel the most drawn to? And then pick that one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to share about CEO data. Is a non-boring way to plan your 2020, to make it as fun for yourself as possible. Now, the second thing, or second non-boring way that I like to plan ahead, is by employing what I call temptation bundling. Now, I'm sure I've probably shared with you this in the group before, but it's for when you plan. So let's assume that we have, I've got my, then I'm just going to use this just to write this down. So I'm just going to say goal number one, right? We've decided on a goal out of all the several stuff that you brainstormed in your CEO date. You decide goal number one. Now, the typical thing that you would normally do is to break down the goal into smaller pieces. And everybody knows that, we all know it, which is why that is one of the things that might be boring. But I'm thinking it's useful. So definitely break them down. But in the midst of breaking them down, I want you to identify the particular tasks that you know you're going to have a real issue doing. Okay, so it might be, for example, I'm going to use the example I have. I'm going after the corporate market. So that's my goal number one. I'm going to divide that into the type of market. So for example, we're going to go for tech companies. And tech, because so far they're the ones who are interested in what we do. They're the ones who've reached out to us. So it's a no-brainer, we're going to go for tech companies. Now, there are many tech companies, so which one? I'm going to have to distill them down into pieces and then work out how am I reaching out to them? Is it through the HR people or is it through the main director? Those kind of things, I might say, yes, I'm going to have to reach out and get on a call with people. And that I might feel more anxious about doing. Okay. Or even just finding the list of companies I'm going to try. So you might say one of them I'm going to find really boring or quite anxiety ridden. Therefore, how can I make it worth my while to make sure I do them? Now, tasks that you don't like, I will always recommend outsourcing them. But there are some tasks you cannot outsource. You, as a CEO, have to do them. I cannot get someone to make calls for me on behalf of. I need to be able to speak to those HR directors myself because I'm the only one who can explain, me and guys, they can explain why we do what we do and share our stories about why we're interested in this thing more than a salesperson could do at the moment. Okay, and I don't even have that person. So in order for me to bundle this behavior or bundle this thing, I'm gonna have to do something at the same time when I'm researching the company, which I might find boring researching them, that I'm doing something else. So the example I like to give is either when I have to do work on a laptop, I can go and have a pedicure done. Because while I'm having a pedicure, I'm actually doing the work. The payoff is that while I'm having a pedicure, I cannot go and look on Facebook and start faffing or on my phone or any of those things that just waste the time. So I'm very sure that if I book myself a pedicure, I will have that job, which is me getting the list done or calling the people on the phone. I will have it done at the exact same time. It's almost linked to that reward. So I hope that makes sense. Now, other examples I can use in your personal life could be going for a walk because you're thinking, I don't really like walking or running, but being able to listen to a podcast that you like while you're walking or going out and about might give you the incentive to actually go and do the thing. So I hope that makes sense. But that is my absolute gold star standard for making sure I do things that I don't actually want to do. I temptation bundle them. So this is when you bundle a behavior that's good for you in the long run. So my final or the third three non-boring ways to plan your 2020 is something called champagne moments. Again, this is all reward driven. So the whole point of a champagne moment is when you do something for a whole week. Right? The purpose of the champagne moment is to reward for a job well done in the week. So don't forget, you have goal number one that you've highlighted, you've broken them down, you've taken a task that you particularly don't like or you're going to more likely to avoid, for example, you've temptation bundled it, which allow you to get it done. The champagne moment is about rewarding good job done all week. Okay, so if you had a big goal that you set for the week, that you're going to be able to say, right, this is the work I'm going to do this week. These are CEO level work, high priority, high value led. Okay, which means a job that you feel can be done in a week, and it could be, for example, that talk I'm talking about 10 tech companies I'm going to reach out to in a week, but I'm anxious about doing them, so I'm going to plan. But that's the goal for the week. That's my test goal for the week. Therefore, that's the thing I'm going to attach to campaign worthy project for the week. Which means I need to find an accountability body, okay? Someone that can hold me accountable that week and say, hey, how are you getting on with that thing? In this case, it's guided for me, but for you, it may be me, it could be me, you can put it in the group and we'll hold you accountable, or you just publicly share it so that someone knows that that's what you're up to, so people can feel, they can ask you how you're getting on and how you're getting on. And what you do is to now schedule the work in your diary, when you're going to do that particular task, okay? And then you do them. At the end of the week, typically on a Friday, it could be Saturday, it's up to you, that you crack open a bottle of champagne or Prosecco or any other luxury thing that you enjoy doing. So it doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage or anything, but for some people, that's what they like. I like Prosecco, so that's what I would use. And I found that helped me feel like I'm looking forward to the weekend to celebrate something with someone because, again, I am reward driven. So I hope this makes sense. And for someone, if it's not a campaign moment, it could be a weekend away. It's up to you what it could look like for you. So the purpose of sharing it, I'm going to recap the three non-boring ways. It was just three non-boring ways to plan the 2020 so that you actually take action. And the reason for that is that if you stick with the same old way that you set goals, you might find yourself not achieving them or not bothering or get dropped off by the wayside. But if you're able to attack them to positive ways in which you can achieve them, then you're more likely to do them. So the first one is setting CEO dates, where you set a date with yourself, somewhere lovely in a space that you find comfortable, a country manor somewhere, a spa or a nice cafe that you actually like, or hotel lobby, somewhere that feels comfortable and luxurious for you and feel like you can think in there. And when you're there, you do work. You allow yourself to think creatively, think big. And they allow you to then brainstorm all the types of ideas or the goals that you want to actually achieve, and then select one that you might want to focus on for the next quarter. So that's number one. Number two is temptation bundling. This is where you pick a task that you particularly don't like, or you like your tendency to avoid or procrastinate on, and you're going to attach that to a reward you can do at the same time. So that while you're doing the thing that you don't like, you're also doing the thing that you do like. So the example I shared earlier, having a pedicure while doing research for tech companies, I'm going to approach in the next couple of weeks or so. So that's an example. The third one is the champagne moment, which is where you decide what champagne worthy projects you're going to work on in a week. And these are usually high value work, and that you are going to find an accountability body with who's going to hold you accountable for that, or publicly share or declare that that's what you're doing. So there's someone who holds you accountable, and then you schedule the work in, and then end of the week, you celebrate with that champagne or prosecco or luxury chocolate or whatever it is that you feel would do the thing for you. So those are the three ways. I hope you found that useful. And so what I wanted to do is just let me know which of those three things, three non-boring ways, would you think that you might want to try out? Okay, and you want to try out in the next couple of weeks or so and see how it works for you. Now, to get going on those big goals, and knowing that you've got some ways to ensure you make it happen, I've got, like I said, last time I got a downloadable planning guide for you to help you work through some of those thoughts as well. You can definitely print them, take them to your CEO date, and come up with some great ideas that I think would be you'd be able to achieve this year. So I'll put that in the link below so you can download it and let me know. Obviously, what you decided to do. If you want me to hold you accountable, let me know that too. And I'll be more than happy to come and kick your ass figuratively. Okay. So I hope that was useful to you today. And let me know, and I'll see you next week in another session. Okay. Have a great day, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay. Bye.